Hi, welcome. I'm David Blackburn of NYIOP. Welcome to the final step of this crazy experiment that we call the Anonymous Audition Project. So about 20 years ago, NYIOP was founded, and we started doing auditions to put singers together with theaters all over the world. We've done live auditions literally in almost every continent of the world, working with over 100 opera houses, thousands of singers, and have literally changed the way that people are sourced on the opera stages. And then about a year ago, as we know, things kind of ground to a halt and the stages went silent and we couldn't get on the stage. So we had to reinvent ourselves. And what we did at NYIOP is we basically realized that artists need to be heard still. Artists need to show their art, and theaters need those artists for future planning, whether they can put them on the stage right now or not. And so we completely changed the way we function and have become a virtual audition company with live streams and Zoom auditions, bringing singers together from all over the world with casting people on your screen. And hopefully this is going to make an effect in the future, because theaters do still have to plan and artists need to be heard. Now, one of the things that came out of this also was every Thursday for almost a year now, we have an open conversation that's anyone in the world is invited. Anyone can join, called NYIOP State of the Opera. It has casting directors, agencies, artists, journalists, directors, fans, anyone, to talk about how opera is. How's it doing? Where's it going? What kind of things can we do to make it better, or turn a corner, or build a new branch off of the tree? And one of the things that came out of that was the concept that some singers are never feel like they're heard for whatever reason. Maybe their CV doesn't have enough. They didn't make it into a young artist program, or life took them a different path until they discovered their voice, and they don't feel like they're heard. So let's see, if your CV doesn't have enough, let's not give the panel a CV. And if you think that for some reason people don't think you look like you should look, let's take away what you look like and turn the video off and don't give them a picture. And in fact, they could search you on YouTube, so let's not even give you a name. We're just going to give you a registration number, a completely anonymous audition based on the power of your voice. All of us came to opera through the power of somebody's voice. Whether it was the first time you heard Birgit Nilsson and Corelli singing Turandot, or the first time you heard Pavarotti and Freni singing O Suave Fanciulla from La Bohème, it was the voice that brought us to opera. And it was the voice that we sought in the Anonymous Audition Project. So what we did is we started this project, and we got over 150 registrants from 31 countries around the world. And we put together a panel of casting directors and artist managers from all over the world as well, people that have a history of caring about artists and nurturing artists and discovering artists. And what we did is that same panel heard all of the auditions. They heard everyone, all of their submitted audio auditions, and then gave each one a rating. And from those ratings, we took the top 45 of those ratings and we invited them to sing a live Zoom audition, still with the camera off and the name hidden, for the entire panel to pay attention to them live, to see if they can repeat live what we had heard on the audio recordings. And that happened about a week ago. And from those artists, we've taken the top 15 in ratings to invite here today to sing for you. The panel still has no idea who these people are, have never seen their name, have never seen a picture of them. They know nothing about them. So today will be the big reveal concert. Now, we have a concert. There will be singers coming in. They're in no particular order. And some of the program may actually have to change. I've just gotten a message saying that somebody's Wi-Fi is out. So we're going to move through the program as we can. And they're going to be heard by audio only first, and then they're going to reveal themselves. And after they sing, we'll get to know a little bit about them. But first, let me tell you who the panel was that heard all of these artists. We had wonderful people who care about singing and care about artists. We had Thomas Buchstiegel, who is a casting director at the Theater Heidelberg in Germany. We had Andres Rodriguez Spörer, who is the manager of cultural operations for the Ibanez Atkinson Foundation in Santiago, Chile. Then we had Mitchell Piper, the president of Piper Artists Management in New York City, and the head of the Trentino Opera Festival in Trentino, Italy. We had David Lomelí, who is the newly named Chief Artistic Officer of the Santa Fe Opera and the casting consultant to both the Dallas Opera and the Bayerische Staatsoper in Munich. We had Robert Gilder and Samuel Crum, both from Robert Gilder and Company Artist Management in the UK. We had Rebecca Rota, stellvertretende Operndirektorin at the Bayerische Staatstheater Karlsruhe, Germany, and a wonderful singer. I know her from when she was a singer, and a force for good in theater in Germany. We had Eric Marjore, the president of Premier Artists Management in New York City, and the Premier Opera Vocal Arts Institute in Trani, Italy. And we had Afton Battle, the general director of the Fort Worth Opera. All of these people heard all of the singers, and now they're paying attention right now to see who it is they heard. Now, we're very lucky because before we hear the singing, we're about to be joined by a special guest from our panel who has agreed to join us here and explain a little bit what it was like to be on the panel of this. So I'd like to introduce to you Afton Battle, who was a singer. She's now a general director, and she is a force for good and change. She is at the absolute vanguard of creating colorblind opera. And she took the helm of the Fort Worth Opera during the middle of this difficult period when stages were empty and she couldn't even mount a production on the stage. And she has already created innovative online programming, reinvented and renewed the Fort Worth Opera as a touchstone for equity and change in our industry and into the future. So let me invite Afton to join us and tell us a little bit about her experience in this. Hi, Afton.
Hi, David. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction.
Well, you've earned it. You've earned it every way. So tell me, what was it? Why did you agree to take part in such a new kind of initiative as this, as an anonymous audition like this?
Well, I agreed to take part for two reasons. I have so much admiration and respect for NYIOP and what you all have been doing over the years to bring amazing talent and wonderful singing across this country of the United States and beyond. So that was first and foremost. Secondly, since I decided and made a conscious decision to stop singing, I've wanted to be in this position for a long time, and not a position as a general director, but in the position on the other side of the audition table, because I had been on the other side as the singer for many, many years. And I wanted to be on this side because I felt that I had always heard singing and voices and talent and gifts differently than some other folks. And I wanted the opportunity to be able to share my perspective, to be able to share my opinion as an adjudicator on this side of the table. And then you add the anonymous aspect to it, and it really blew my mind because at this moment in our nation's progress, the industry of opera has really been called to the table for its lack of diversity and equity. And we all have read those stories of the little black dress and heard the horror stories of body shaming. And this was that step to eliminate that barrier for so many singers who, like you said, may have been told you don't look like, or you sound different than X, Y, and Z. So I thought the entire process and the idea and the concept was something that I wanted to be a part of, because it's definitely going to shift, in my opinion, the way that we look and hear auditions going forward.
Very interesting. So how do you see projects like this kind of advancing that concept of colorblind opera and casting? And do you see that a project like this, with opera being such a visible art form as well, do you see a project like this actually intersecting with true casting at some point, or in some way?
I think that there is a way. Opera is that intersection of theater and music, right? And so we want to see that part. We want to see the theatrical part of it. And so while the concept of blind auditions is forward thinking and innovative, we would be remiss if we didn't have an opportunity to see someone bring their character to life, not to see what they look like, but to see someone bring their character to life, to see someone step into the character shoes, if you will, of Violetta, of Rodolfo, of whomever, to see them do that. We would be remiss if we totally didn't have that opportunity for that, because we have evolved as people, and this industry has evolved in a way that singing and the talent and the voice, yes, is primary, but also we are so visual, and we want to be able to believe that whomever is portraying whatever role it is, that they actually embody that. So do I see a world in which blind auditions have a space? I do. I see that world almost like we had our process, where you hear the voice first. I do think that there is some validity in knowing the participants' background information, just in terms of their CV, not, for tit for tat and, trying to figure up and line up where they've sung, but to have that information, but hearing the voice first. Because if you close your eyes and you just listen to the instrument, you can then start to imagine what this voice would sound like, or what this voice would look like portraying that role, right? How they might embody the character, and then add the other part to it. So, and I think the reason why some people might shy away from this is because it will prolong the audition process, right? You can't just turn them in and out 8 bars here and there. Like, you can't do that. You actually have to dedicate and prioritize the time to digest orally what you've heard.
Now that's interesting, because another of your colleagues on the panel actually said that they found this process to be more tiring, like that they had to break it up in smaller bites than a normal audition. Would you agree with that?
Oh yes.
Why?
I could not sit down and listen to all of the candidates in one, fell swoop. First of all, I didn't have that much time in one day, but also it is tiring, and I don't want that to have a negative connotation, but it is taxing, because you do have to concentrate, because your eyes visually will make a judgment for you before you even give the opportunity for the sound to hit. You know what I'm saying?
Like, no, that's golden. That's exactly the point. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I can watch a trailer. I can watch, videos on my phone all day long and never turn the sound on, and know whether or not I actually want to turn the sound on, just from what I've seen. And when you put that into the prospect or the action of auditioning, that's what we do. It's almost like a second nature, because our eyes make the assumption, and our eyes then start to hear what we're seeing. So yeah, it was consuming, It was taxing. I'm trying to say all the descriptives that are not tiring, because I don't want people to think that it was like belabored and then you
well,
just
not in a negative way, but it took more energy to give that kind of focus, which is a wonderful thing, because that focus is warranted when an artist is giving their soul. That makes sense.
1,000%.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you, one particular singer, and then I want to ask you about your initiatives and things, but one particular singer that we spoke about, you told me, I won't say anything other than explain to me about this one particular singer that really reached out to you, that was actually only in the first listening. He didn't pass to the Zoom or to the finals, but tell me about that experience, what it was.
Yeah, so everything that I just said, right, about having to listen intently and not seeing. So this singer sang their piece a cappella, literally just plunking out a few notes here and there. And it was stirring in the way that everything was stripped from me. I couldn't see, right? I mean, I was just listening. And then the instrumental accompaniment was stripped away. So literally, we only had the voice.
Beautiful.
Whether it was, in its flaws, in its, moments of perfection, in its rawness, in its tenderness. And it was just visceral in a way that was so emotional, because it was so raw. It was just a voice, just a voice.
This is amazing. This to me, and that is exactly when people say the power of the voice, that is it. When it is just that, speaking directly through to your heart. That's to me, that's opera. That's why opera, that.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about in Fort Worth, you basically are shaking things up. So what are you've got the amazing things with the online offerings that you've had with the Night of Black Excellence, and now the encore of the Night of Black Excellence. You've got the 3 Decembers coming up with Susan Graham and other initiatives. What do you have in store? What is your goal for this platform that you're doing? Tell us something.
Absolutely. My goal, my mission, my desire for Fort Worth Opera is that it becomes legitimately the people's opera. Very much like you experience in Europe, with a house that is, that has fest singers who are there almost every night in every production. And the community members, the residents who attend the opera, feel like they know that person. They feel like they know that soprano, that that soprano is their soprano, right? That's because wonderful. They see them every season. And it's also a connection that those residents and patrons have to that opera house, because for the most part, it sometimes is literally like in the middle of their neighborhood. But it is so inviting, but also circumferencing of their entire being, if that makes sense. And so I want all of the residents of Fort Worth to know about Fort Worth Opera. You ask people, do you know about Fort Worth Opera? Did you know Fort Worth has an opera company? You get mixed answers. And I want everyone to say, oh, yes, I know that they have an opera company. Yes, that's my company.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And that for us can only be achieved by the really important work of community engagement, civic engagement, partnerships. And in this time of a COVID, we've been able to completely remove the barrier to access, obviously, because we're not in theaters, and providing free content online. Everyone is, absorbing this free content. We all got pretty tired of watching concerts on the Zoom and needed something else. And so when I started in September, I said, you know, the weather in Texas, for the most part, minus the ice storm, you know, a few weeks ago, is pretty reliable. So let's go out. And we started taking Fort Worth Opera and the best of what we do to the community by way of Fuogo, pop-up concerts. And so my vision and my hope and my goal for this company is that through these initiatives, Fuogo, through continued initiatives in the green room, online content, through continued partnerships with companies like Opera San Jose, through continued community engagement initiatives and projects and programs like a Night of Black Excellence, we show the community that we are not here on top of you, if that makes sense, right? Like, we are here and you are on top of us. Like, we are supporting you from the bottom up. And we are bringing you programming that makes sense for you, for your community. We are bringing you initiatives that make sense. We are providing resources that make sense for the greater good that is that community and civic engagement. And then when we get the chance to be on stage, we'll be on stage, you know, whether it's in Bass Hall or Scott Theater or any other theater, the Ridgely Theater, what have you. And then by the time that happens, we will have already swathed all of North Texas and Tarrant County and Fort Worth with what Fort Worth Opera is. So
That's
then
amazing.
when we invite folks to come downtown to Bass Hall, they will have already received and felt welcomed. And then that barrier to access is then equally as removed for individuals who might oftentimes feel like they're not welcomed in performing arts halls and theaters. And so that's the work that I'm really excited about. And I don't know, you know, what it will be like to be able to program and mount, you know, full productions because I only know about running a company in a COVID. So we're going to continue, you know, with our initiatives for community engagement and partnerships and building really strong bridges with our communities. And then when we get back in the hall, it should be like a piece of cake.
That's amazing. Well, I have to say, it's exciting. As somebody that's from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I love to know that there's that excitement between you and David running down I-30 back and forth. It's exciting. It's very exciting. And I have to say, so let's get on to hearing some of these singers now. But I do have to say that, Afton, thank you so much for being part of this process, for coming on to talk with us today. You are exactly the type of person, the type of energy, the type of soul that we want making opera now and into the future, because it's real. It's real. It's something different and it's real. And thank you so much for that. So
thank you, David, for having me and allowing me to be a part of this process. And I certainly hope that I will be able to join you in other NYIOP auditions, whether they are anonymous or an abridged version of anonymous, and live and in person. But it was truly my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Really a joy. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Yeah, it's exciting. So the time is upon us now, where we're going to let the first singer in. Now, to remind you all, nobody has seen these singers before, so I will mention them by their number that they're known by, and then they'll tell us their name afterwards. Because of some timing issues and things, there are about 4 of the artists that couldn't be here live with us today that we are recording, that we recorded their singing and a short discussion with them, but those were recorded yesterday. So they are as fresh can be. But first, let's go ahead and get going. We're going to begin with a soprano that heretofore has been known as number 14842604. That's all we know about her. And she's going to sing Je veux vivre, Juliette's waltz from Roméo and Juliette by Gounod. So here she comes. Brava, brava. So finally, can you tell us your name and a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Beatriz de Sousa, and I come originally from Portugal, and at the moment I'm living in Vienna. And I have chosen to take part in these auditions. I think it's a really great opportunity, especially, of course, we all know what we are going through at this time. And so I hope this is also a way to bring modern technology to opera. I mean, I have learned a lot with technology as well, and how to bring opera to a bigger audience. So this has been a great experience in all senses. Getting to know ourselves, like to other people in the industry, that at the moment auditions are not being possible to happen. And at the same time, it's a great experience for opera singers to go a little bit more into the technology world. And yes, bring opera to also other ways of connecting with people. And so I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and hope you have enjoyed this aria.
Absolutely. No, this is wonderful. And thank you for that. Now I have a question for you. This is just something that I'm asking, because I believe that in this world right now, when there's so many things that we're told we can't do because we can't go on stage, we can't sing in a choir, we can't be in large groups, we can't. Tell me something we can do. What's something that you believe we can do as an artist, as a person, to move yourself forward during this period?
I think, at least for me, this time has helped to raise discussions, raise conversations, and bring more awareness actually to what do we need as an artists, and what do we want to do with opera, and what is the meaning of opera in 21st century. I think this time, at least for me, has given me a break. I mean, for obvious reasons, right? To stop and actually think, because sometimes we don't have this time. Also, as young opera singers, we are here, there, trying so many opportunities, so many things all the time. And this was a time for almost a meditation, if I can say that way.
Yeah, of course.
Realign our values, and I think reinvent ourselves as artists. And so
this is wonderful.
Yes.
Well, listen, Beatriz, thank you so much for taking part. I'm so happy to hear you. And now we all know you, and best of everything. And we can't wait until we see you live on a stage instead of across a Zoom.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really a pleasure. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and watch the rest of your colleagues now, okay?
I'll be watching all the other singers.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Wonderful. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So now, moving on, our next singer has been known as 1919 for us. And he is going to come in and sing Mandrika's aria from Arabella by Richard Strauss. So here we go.
Sie gibt mir keinen Blick, sie sagt nicht gute Nacht, sie lässt mich stehen und geht. Hab ich was anderes verdient, was ist verdient auf dieser Welt? Verdient ist nichts. Stockbrüche sind verdient für einen Kerl wie mich, aber geschenkt hätt ich gern einen Blick genommen. So einem halben Blick. Geh nur hinauf. Sie hat gar nichts gemeint, als ein Glas Wasser haben und Ruhe vor meinem Anblick. Oder spotten hat sie wollen, vielleicht, wenn sie nur spottet, wenigstens ist's doch schon eine Gnade, eine unverdiente. Das weiß Gott.
Wow, bravo. Bravo, great job. So tell us your name and tell us where are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Finally.
Yeah, finally. My name is no longer a number. My name is Joel Balzun. I'm a Canadian baritone, originally from Calgary, Canada, and I currently live in the Los Angeles area.
Wow. But now what's also interesting, because of course I, look things up, you're also a composer as well as a professional singer.
Yes.
And a pianist, I assume, because here's one thing to tell everybody. You told me, so I hope you don't mind me sharing it. I'm going to anyway now, is that when he sang on the Zoom, his first piece was the Wotan's Abendlich, and the backing track that he sang to, he actually played himself. So it's quite fascinating. So what have you been doing during this period? Have you been composing more, singing more, a little bit of both?
I've been doing a little bit of both. I've done some online content for Opera Saratoga and for Social Distance Opera. I'm still recording an opera for them. I'm doing Ford and Falstaff. I just did Johnny Skiki for them as well. And I've been composing.
All virtually?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's virtually. And then I have been composing some. I'm slowly chipping away at an opera. That'll probably be done in like 25 years. And
does it have a really good baritone part for you?
I don't know if I'll sing it. I don't like singing my own stuff. It always kind of feels weird to me, but I don't know, maybe I will. And then I wrote another piece last year, just kind of in response to, well, not kind of in response, it was directly in response to a lot of the racial unrest that had risen to the surface, and I'm in the process of getting that recorded. And then aside from that, I also teach at a college here in Los Angeles, Biola University, which is where I am right now. So,
which is beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, so Joel, then the question that I'm asking everyone is, in this period, obviously you've answered this many times over, of all the things you can't do, what is something that you can do as an artist to enhance you as a human and as an artist during this period?
I think one, I can say this living in Los Angeles especially, one, I think, good thing that has come out of the pandemic is it's forced all of us to slow down and just be people and be humans.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that sometimes artists forget because we're on the run from one hustle to the next. And so I think that just slowing down and learning about yourself and exploring things that you didn't think you would ever explore, be it repertoire or another form of art or a new hobby or something, that makes you a more interesting person, and that will make you a more interesting artist. And I think that that's kind of one of the best things that we can do.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. Joel, it was really a pleasure to hear you, to meet you, to speak with you a little bit this week. And I'm very happy that you are now a name and no longer a blank screen. And I'm sure that we're going to be hearing you live again soon in many places. Let's hope.
I hope so. I hope so. Thank you so much.
So wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You as well. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, multi-talented, unbelievable. So listen, our next singer coming in, she was number 0238, and she's going to sing the final aria of Juliette from Romeo and Juliet by Gounod, the poison aria, after Juliette has just taken, obviously, the poison. So we're going to let her in now for the poison aria. Welcome, and you can start. Brava. Fantastic job. Oh, I've got an echo there. So tell us your name. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from and all of that?
And I'm from Northern Ireland.
What is your name again? Because I was talking over you, sorry.
Mary McCabe.
Wonderful. And you're from where?
Northern Ireland.
And tell us a bit about yourself. Have you been singing? Are you in school?
Yeah, so I am now a professional emerging artist, and I have finished my master's and my undergraduate in vocal studies at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, and I studied French as well in my undergraduate, and yeah, so now I'm just trying to get myself out there and noticed as an emerging professional. So
that's wonderful. And so why did you take part in this Anonymous project?
I absolutely love the idea of not having a CV or someone's appearance or their age or anything as a distraction, just to be able to focus on the actual singing. I think is wonderful. So I wanted to take part.
That's wonderful. So what have you been doing during the pandemic time, non-operatically? What have you been doing? What skills have you been learning?
Well, technology, I have been learning about that, trying to set up how to do these Zoom calls and everything, but also taking up my cello again, which is wonderful, because I haven't had any time. Once you take on voice, it just takes over your life, so it's been wonderful to play the cello again, brush up on my chess playing skills.
Oh wow, Queen's Gambit, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Wasn't it good? I loved it.
Amazing.
We recommend it highly. Mary and I recommend it highly.
Yes.
For those 4 people in the world that haven't seen it yet, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So listen, Mary, this was really a joy. And I thank you very much. It was a pleasure to meet you, pleasure to hear you. And best of everything. Can't wait to see you on a stage in real person soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye. The next artist that's going to sing for us was known as 5347. We had some connection issues over the past couple of days. So what we have done is we decided to record the singing yesterday so that we would get a good, clear connection. And then she's going to join us afterwards to have a quick conversation. So the screen may go blank just for a second or two while I bring up her video and she joins us. This is 5347 singing Amours, viens, from Samson and Dalilah. So give me just a moment.
Ce
Wow, there we go. So let's bring her in and meet this Dalilah.
Hello.
Hello there. So, brava, beautiful job. So tell us, what is your name? Where are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Maria Ostroukhova, and I'm a Russian mezzo-soprano coming all the way from Moscow to this Zoom thing.
It's a small world on Zoom.
Yeah, true that. The world turned into a village. Everyone knows everyone.
Well, this is wonderful. So why did you do this Anonymous project?
Well, I was really curious. First of all, I found out about this project from a colleague of mine who also took part in the auditions, and she just intrigued me, really. But also, I really wanted to test my luck and see if I can do an audition whilst wearing pajamas and nobody will care.
You're not the first person that said that, actually, but it's kind of amazing. Good for you.
An opportunity. I just saw it and I took it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, also, we've had a short conversation this week. So to answer my question of, with so many things you can't do, what can you do? I know that you actually have done something during this period, because you told me that you started a concert series during this period. Is that right? Tell us a little about that.
That's true. When I realized I'm in lockdown and I probably will not be working for an entire year. I was terrified because you can practice all you want, but a performing experience, it's a unique one. So I just started streaming almost every week since March, but for about 5 months, not for the whole year, but every week streaming concerts, an hour-long concerts, learning new repertoire each week. For each concert, they were thematic as well. So one was dedicated to beautiful women, female composers. The other one was about springtime, different ones. And I was lucky because I was self-isolating with a pianist in the same apartment. So it's just
convenient.
A match made in heaven.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Maria, this was really, really a joy. It was great to hear you. It's great to meet you. It's great to know about you. And I'm sure we're going to hear much more from you, both online and off. If you send us that link to your concert series, we'll put it in the description afterwards, and then everybody else can join in as well. Okay, great. So thank you so much for joining us, and take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. This is wonderful. Also, just so everybody out there knows that at the end of the concert, we're going to update the description with the names of these artists. And if they've given us a Facebook or an Instagram, we'll go ahead and update that as well. So you can start to follow them as well, these new additions to your life. Now, our next singer is going to come in. She's going to sing the entire Violetta aria. During the Zoom audition, she sang the cavaletta of it, and now we're going to hear the whole Violetta aria. So here is Madama 6381 to sing some Verdi. Feel free to begin. Wonderful.
Suoi Dio folleggiare di gioia in gioia, o che scorre il viver mio nei sentieri del piacere. Nasca il giorno la muoia, sempre lieta ne ritrovi. Adilliti sempre Davide volare il mio pensiero. Volare il mio pensiero. Il pensiero ne vola, ne vola. Ne vola il pensiero, ne vola, ne
Brava, brava, brava. So please tell us your name and a little bit about yourself, finally. Anonymous no more.
Anonymous no more. I'm Miriam Hajiyev. I am a soprano from Israel. I'm currently living and studying in Vienna. I moved to Vienna 3 years ago.
Wonderful.
And I was heard back when I was studying in Israel in the Jerusalem Academy. I was heard by soprano Sylvia Greenberg and David Aronson, and I was invited by
David,
them to hear. And then I got in my master's degree here in the University of Music and Performing Arts in Vienna. So what should I else
Well,
say?
no, why did you decide to take part in this anonymous, blind, crazy experiment?
I found this very unique, and I wanted to take a part because I thought it can help me to reveal my voice, and really the whole point was on the human voice, and especially now in those difficult times when we don't have very much. I thought it's a very special idea to do this competition and this audition to you, and yeah.
This is wonderful. So during this period in Vienna, because I know that you guys have had many rather strict lockdowns actually during this. So what are some of the things that you have done in that time that the government was saying you can't do this, you can't do that? What are some things that you've done during this period for yourself as an artist, as a human?
Oh yeah, I done a few concerts also. It was a digitalization of an opera industry because I done concerts with cameras, in front of the cameras, and also I was taking part in a student film production which was based on opera, and I'm always trying to do things, but unfortunately many of my auditions were canceled. So the things that I've done, it's concerts and I was participating in the film productions. And
is it different for you singing when you're being filmed as opposed to live on a stage?
Yeah, of course. It's not like you are singing to a live auditions. You're singing for cameras, but I'm still trying to move this energy and feel that like real persons are in front of me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Miriam,
course.
thank you so much for taking part in this. And it was really a pleasure to hear you. I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking that.
Thank you very much.
And greetings to Vienna. And we hope to see you in real person soon. Okay?
I had a very amazing experience with the Anonymous Project. And thank you very much for giving
Wonderful.
me this opportunity.
It's really a pleasure. So take care. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So now the next singer that we're going to hear, actually could not be with us live. So we're going to play the video of her as well. She's going to sing no, wait, I'm getting lost. We do have the next singer, and she's coming in now. She's going to be number 2750. And she's going to sing Baby Doe Silver Aria from the Ballad of Baby Doe by Douglas, oh my gosh, Douglas Moore. Forgive me. So here she comes. Oh, your camera's sideways. So, just turn it. No, turn it. There we go. And then you can turn it back. Oh, there we go. Okay, and you can start anytime. Okay.
Is a fine
Arietta, come over here. So tell us, what is your name? Tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Amy Maples. I am a soprano. I live in Golden, Colorado, but I'm from Tennessee.
Well, so Baby Doe fits then, Colorado, right?
It does, and it's really interesting because I learned Baby Doe maybe 12 years ago, and I used it for my audition for Opera Colorado.
Oh.
And then it's just sort of been like this recurring aria in my life. And I had no idea at the time that I would live in Colorado. So,
oh, wow, looky there. It was fate, destiny calling you there. Fantastic. So tell me, why did you decide to take part in this anonymous audition thing?
well, I loved the idea of the freedom of just singing for a panel and not feeling like, I was being judged on external factors, but there's something about not being seen and just letting your voice go that for me it was thrilling and freeing, and I just wanted to see what it would be like. It was great.
But why do you think that people don't feel that in a regular audition? Wouldn't that be the goal? Wouldn't that be the ideal, you think?
Well, I don't know that there's any way to get around the fact that we have an appearance. And I think for me, do I experience discrimination very often because of my race or because of my size or because of just how I look in general? No, definitely not. But I think so many people out there do, even if it's not intentional. I think there's still a lot of old-fashioned casting in opera. And I think it's great that it's starting to change.
That is true. It is very great that it's starting to change. So Amy, tell me something that you've been doing during this period that's empowered you as an artist or just as a human being. What can you do?
Oddly enough, I have really tried to embrace my humorous side, and I've started making funny videos for Instagram and Facebook, and generally about singing stuff. And that has really kind of inspired me to be more creative. Even if I'm not performing for someone, I get to go through that creative process of making a character and making people laugh.
Well, that's wonderful. That sounds fantastic. You have to give us your Instagram handle so that we can put it in the description and people can go and watch your videos. Okay.
I will, absolutely. I'm
absolutely.
At the Buff Coloratura.
The Buff Coloratura. Muscles. Good for you. So Amy, thank you very, very much for singing. And it was really a pleasure to meet you, to hear you, and to have you take part in this process. So
thank you so very, very much. This has been an absolute joy and honor from my soul.
Wonderful. I'm very happy. So take care of you. Stay safe and healthy. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye. Now, our next singer is someone that put in a video, so I'm just going to play her, and then she actually speaks about herself afterwards. She was number 8491, and soon after this, she will get to be known by her real name. She's going to sing the composer's aria from Ariadne auf Naxos by Richard Strauss. So you may see a black screen a second while I load her video up for us. And here we go.
Es gibt manches auf I'm a mezzo-soprano from Dallas, Texas. This year, I'm a semi-finalist in the Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions, and I'm an education and outreach artist with the Dallas Opera. My most recent roles include Dorabella, Blitzstein's Regina, the mezzo-soprano soloist in the Verdi Requiem, and my favorite role that I've done is Gertrude Stein in Tom Chiapullo's opera Afterlife. Thank you so much to David and the panel for this opportunity to sing virtually on this platform. I'm so excited by the prospects and possibilities that we have virtually performing and virtually auditioning for the future of our industry. Thank you.
Wow, so there you have met Hilary Grace Taylor, who couldn't be with us today, but as you can see, she's certainly going to be with us longer into the future. So our next artist is number 1898. It's so impersonal. Who's going to sing a really very interesting piece called "The Stars Emerge" by Alex Wolff. So let me let her in, and then you'll hear, and we'll know more about her afterwards. You can start whenever you wish. Thank you so very much. So look, tell us your name. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please, ma'am.
Hello. So my name is Emily Thorner, and I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, but I currently live in London.
Oh, wow. And then also I have to say that it's such a fascinating piece. Tell us a little bit about this piece. It's very interesting.
So there's actually quite the story that comes with this piece. So it was written in 2019, and I feel very honored to say that it was actually written for my voice and created with myself and a full orchestra at the Britten Peers Young Artist Program in England. And so I got to see this piece from the very first steps of creation and testing it with an orchestra, and every single day we would workshop it. And so it's really, really special to share this with all of you because I just love this piece.
It's very interesting. And would you say that you specialize in modern music, or this extremely? I noticed that, like, when you did your Zoom audition, you also had 5 Fathoms Deep from Thomas Adès. Is this a specialty of yours?
Yes, I would say that it is. So I definitely do sing, more standard opera as well. Like I'm certainly a zerbinetta and a doll, of course, but I do frequently sing and specialize in contemporary repertoire. So it is quite a bit of Thomas Adès and things like Ligeti and Mysteries of the Macabre, and I feel very lucky that there's often composers, doing this and writing for me. And so when there's the really challenging pieces that they're like, how do we see this come alive? That's usually when I get the call, and I absolutely love it.
This is fascinating. So what kind of things in this world of can'ts and won't be able to's, what kind of things have you done? What can you do in this time? What have you been doing?
To be honest, I've been really focusing in a different direction, actually. I've been focusing on inner healing and with my side business and helping people to really turn within. And this has been really, really fascinating because I feel like I've emerged a different singer than I was at the start of the pandemic. So rather than, thinking about singing as being about the ego and will people like you, when you go for the really inner healing standpoint, it begins to really be about the soul and letting just yourself disappear and just letting the music completely sing through you. And so as much as it's been so hard not to be on stage nearly as much, I actually think this time has been really beneficial for myself.
Do you think that somehow this focus on the inner soul and only channeling this energy, do you think that that's something that's actually that helped during the Anonymous project of being able to just be heard with the voice and singing?
Yeah, I hadn't even quite put that two together, but yes, I absolutely think so. Because there is, of course, with this no notion of who you are, where you're from, your age, or what kind of repertoire you sometimes sing or don't sing. And so you just get to completely hear and feel a person through the speakers. And so yes, absolutely.
I think that's interesting because another of your colleagues earlier said that it was nice to just let loose and only sing, which somehow you don't get to do in auditions these days. And I think that maybe we need to move auditions towards that, where if you need to come in your track suit, then you come in your track suit. So could be very interesting. So listen, Emily, thank you so very much. It was really a pleasure. And thank you for singing for us and for taking part in this. Okay?
Thank you.
Wonderful. Take care. Now, our next singer, who was known as 2404, is going to sing a tour de force of a piece, à la pitoyable aventure from L'Heure Espagnole by Ravel. And so we will bring her in now. Wonderful. You can start whenever you would like.
Et faut-il que de deux amants, l'un manque de tempérament et l'autre à ce point de nature? deux pas de l'estramadure. Le temps me dure, dure, dure. Oh, l'impitoyable aventure. La ne veut mettre ses efforts qu'à composer des vers baroques. Et l'autre plus grotesque encore de l'horloge ne peut sortir rien qu'à mi-corps avec son ventre empêtré de breloques. Maintenant le jour va finir et mon époux va revenir. Et je reste fidèle et pure à deux pas de l'estramadure au pays de Guadalquivir. Le temps me dure, dure, dure. Pour ma colère passée, avoir quelque chose à casser, à mettre en bouillie, en salade.
Brava, brava, brava. So tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
So I am Tara Venditti. I am speaking to you from Graz, Austria. And what else should I tell you? I'm going to tell you that I'm actually in Europe because of David Blackburn and NYIOP.
Oh God, here we go.
You know,
Yeah.
it's really true.
It's all my fault.
Many years ago, when no, it wasn't that long ago, but
No, it was 6 months ago, darling.
it was just a few months ago. David called me and said, "Hey, you know, I've started this thing called NYIOPS, and what do you think? And you know, you want to come do it?" And I said, "Nah, it's not really for me." And he said, "No, you know, you really should come do this." And there were 4 German opera companies in the room at the time. And I did it and enjoyed it, and all 4 of them offered me Fest contracts. And at that moment, it became very clear that Germany was my next step. And since 2004, I have based my singing career here in Europe, and now I'm living in Graz, Austria for the last few years. So yeah, lived all over.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for that, honestly. I remember exactly when you did the audition. I remember exactly how it went, and it was fantastic. Now, here's the question. After that, you've been working and you have a university job. So why did you do an anonymous audition?
Well, you know, Dave, I think it is customary to do this kind of an audition when you're an instrumentalist. You'll find yourself walking into a theater and there'll be a screen and you'll play your violin and then you'll walk off and all they know about you is maybe your shoes. To my knowledge, this is the first time this has ever been done with singers. And I personally find it really inspiring to be a part of something when it's done for the first time. So that's why I did it.
It was the first time that it's been done completely from the beginning all the way through to the end. There was one other time that it was done, but I think that it is important. It's the first time it's done very internationally. And I think that it was a very good thing. Now, what things have you been doing? I know you're not a sit around and do nothing one. So
No.
during this no, you can't period, tell us what we can do. What have you done?
What have I done? Well, I decided that the world was, you know, I considered what was happening with COVID early on a real bifurcation in our lives of how we look at our world, the culture of opera. And I thought, well, maybe this is time to get a little education in the technology side of things that I never had to do before. So I did a lot of research, took a small course. I'm doing a little bit more at the moment, trying to figure out really how we can live in a hybrid environment, online streaming versus live. So, now I'm teaching courses where I have, master classes, or I have great groups of people streaming into my masterclass, but then I have 6 people in the room who are also taking the class. So that's been, I've been super busy figuring out how to run life in a hybrid way.
Well, that's very interesting. So that's basically moving the art forward. That's fantastic.
That's what it does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, moving it in the sense that I think that we're not going to be, we need to come back live, but we're not going to let go of this new world that we've opened. We won't just shut the gates on cyberspace after it's all done. So.
And I also love the fact, David, that you're making it possible for people to do live streaming auditions where the sound quality is good enough that intendants can make decisions from that. I find it also really ecological. And I'm thankful every time I don't have to get on a plane and, say 6 Hail Marys because I've just wrecked the environment,
Which is wonderful. So listen, Tara, thank you so much for being part of this and for singing. It was really a joy to hear you. And I look forward to the next time. So take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And so our next singer is actually number 1919 was his number. I had this wrong at the beginning. And he's going to sing Ford's aria, E sogno o realtà from Falstaff by Verdi. So here he comes. You can start whenever you would like.
E sogno o realtà due rami enormi crescono sulla mia testa e un sogno ma so forte, dormi, svegliati, ti desta, tuo amore sgarra e metti in mal'assetto l'onor tuo, la tua casa e di tuo letto. L'ora è fissata, tramato l'inganno, sei gabbato e truffato, e poi diranno che un marito geloso è un insensato. Già dietro a me nomi d'infame d'odio fischian passando e mormora lo scherno. Oh matrimonio inferno, donna e demonio, nella mormoria abbian fede i babbei. Affiderei la mia birra a un tedesco, tutto il mio vescovo olandese l'urgo, la mia bottiglia d'acquavite antonico e non mia moglie a se stessa. Olai la sorte, quella brutta parola in cuore mi torna, le corna, bue, caprone, le fusa torte, ah, le corna, e ma non mi sfuggirai, no, sozzo, reo, dannato epicureo. Prima li accoppio e poi li colgo, li accoppio, li colgo, li accoppio, li colgo, li accoppio, li colgo, li accoppio, li accoppio. Io scoppio. Vendicherò l'affronto, laudata sempre sia l'elefone d'ore del mio cor, la gelosia.
Bravo. Beautiful job. So tell us your name. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Jorge Espino. I am a baritone. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Mexico City. And I'm coming to you from Düsseldorf, from my apartment here in Germany. I'm part of the ensemble here at the Deutsche Oper am Rhein.
Oh, that's wonderful. So how did you tell us a little bit about how was your journey from Mexico to Düsseldorf? How did that happen?
Okay, well, actually it was through a competition. I did the Belvedere competition in Jurmala 3 years ago. And that's where I met the intendant, Christoph Meyer, who invited me first to the opera studio for a year, and then he invited me to the ensemble after that. So I've been here for 2 years and a half.
Oh, but that's wonderful.
Before that, I studied in Philadelphia at AVA and Curtis Institute of Music.
Oh, wow. So you're definitely international with all of that. So then as a singer in a fest ensemble, obviously you're not able to perform right now. The theaters, or have you been performing during this period?
In the middle, the opera did this change of the repertoire in order so we could perform. So they picked like smaller pieces that didn't involve that much of singers on stage, either like a big orchestra. So we perform a strange piece, Mazel Tov by Weinberg. It was really interesting in German. And it didn't have an intermission in order for the audience just to stay in the places and then go. But then after that, the rules changed and everything was closed again. But they made their best. They were very creative in the way they could like perform for the audience. So that was amazing.
And are you starting to rehearse again now that Germany has published a plan to get back on stage? Have the rehearsals started yet?
Yeah, there's still like planning on what is going to be on, but I think we're going to have more performances of Mazel Tov, since we just had like the premiere and an extra performance, and then after that it was closed again. So I think we're going to continue of what we already premiered.
Which is wonderful. Now, so as a singer in an ensemble position, why did you take part in an anonymous audition project?
I guess for me it was really interesting the way we could communicate through the voice itself, voice and text. I find that sometimes when we are trying to present a convincing character, we get lost in many other aspects, but the music, and that's really important. And for me, I find this project really interesting, and also to be proactive and be out there, and it was a unique experience, definitely.
Wonderful. Well, wonderful. Okay, so one last question that is a purely personal question, which is you're from Mexico City, which is one of my dearest places on earth. You know that we spoke about it. What is the food that you miss the most from Mexico City?
That's a good question. There are many, but
I know.
My favorite is chiles en nogada, and that's something very traditional, especially in Independence Day, because it has the flag colors. So if you haven't tried it, you should try it.
Absolutely. I will try anything and everything. So Jorge, really, this was a great joy. Wonderful to meet you and to hear you. And thank you for joining us through this process. I look forward to seeing you on stage in Dusseldorf again soon.
Yeah, I hope to. I hope so. It's soon. And thank you for this opportunity.
Really, it's a joy. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And so our next singer that's going to be coming up is actually, you heard the name Tom Cipulo earlier, and she's going to be singing a wonderful aria called My Darling Jim by an opera called Glory Denied by Tom Cipulo. If you don't know his music, then you should certainly get online and find his music, because you will be in love with it after this. So now we're going to bring in Ms. 8724 to sing My Darling Jim. You can begin. Really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. So please tell us your name and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Susan Elizabeth Brown. I'm currently living in Montreal, Quebec, but I grew up in Kingston, Ontario, actually. I just moved here recently. In Kingston, I've started out singing. I've been singing my whole life. It's always been a central part of my life. Both of my parents are folk musicians.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I started out singing in choirs in Kingston. Yeah.
And why did you take part? No, that's good. Why did you take part in the Anonymous Project? Why did you want to sing when nobody could see you?
Well, I hadn't done an international competition before, so I was researching competitions. I had just finished a new demo, and I came across this. I had heard of NYIOP before, and I had heard wonderful things about it. I just came across this competition, and I thought it was such a wonderful initiative to try and challenge the conscious and unconscious biases, to give people an opportunity to really be heard properly and put the voice at the center of opera, which is so important. I really believe in that, and I really support that. And I felt that it was a really good opportunity for me as well. So that's why I went.
This is wonderful. Now, how did you come across Tom's music? We talked briefly about him the other day. How did you come across his music?
I was very lucky. I stole it from another soprano.
Oh, the best form of art, John Lennon says, yeah?
Yeah, I heard another soprano sing it in a competition, and I was so taken by it. I was so moved. I had tears in my eyes, and I just had to learn it, and I thought it would fit well in my voice, so I tried it, and yeah, I love it. I have the score at home. I'd love to do the role one day. It's fantastic.
It's wonderful. That's really, really wonderful. So listen, during this time when there's so many things you can't do, what is something you can do? What is something you have done for you as a human, as an artist during this period?
So it obviously has been quite hard. So I've been taking a lot of extra time to really take care of myself as a human as well as a singer. As a singer, of course, my physical health is really important. So I've been trying to keep up with doing yoga and Pilates pretty much every day. I've been pretty strict about that. And that's really helped me to stay positive and to be able to sing. And it also helps my singing, as I've discovered.
Well, that's wonderful. I have to say that when I was a singer, I would have been doing exactly that. Now that I'm not a singer, I'm making sure to eat a lot of cookies and drink a lot of wine during this period, which is definitely playing havoc with my Pilates, I gotta say. So Susan, really, this was a joy to hear you. And thank you for taking part. It's really, really wonderful. And I hope we get to see you in person sometime soon.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. It means the world.
Thank you. Take care. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay.
You
Cheers.
too.
Bye-bye. Bye. So our next singer is also one of the singers that couldn't be here live. So I'm going to play his video. It's a tenor who's going to sing Captain Ahab's aria from Moby Dick by Jack Heggie. Okay. Let me get here. And then we had a wonderful conversation afterwards. So I'll just play the video and you can listen to all of the wonderful pearls of wisdom that we passed along. Enjoy.
I see, you see, Christian kindness and mercy. I see the fire must be burned, the burning ship drives on. The boy is nearly lost at sea, as I was lost on land. Was he rescued by Christian kindness, or a brave pagan hand? I was asleep, dreaming at the helm. Now I see a fire must be burned, the burning ship drives on. His tortured flesh becomes the fuel to feed the flames. He burns away by his own body, as I have burned my soul. sleep, dreaming at the helm, my back turned on the compass. And now I see I am alone. All is vanity. All is vanity.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Congratulations. So finally, tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
Yes, my name is Jonathan Kaufman. I'm a tenor. I'm located here right now in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I live with my lovely wife. And I'm currently in my dining room with her grandmother's baby grand here on this side.
Very nice.
Originally from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I moved here about 5 years ago just because I like the area. So.
Well, that's wonderful. That's amazing. So, so tell me, why did you take part in the Anonymous Project?
Well, the first thing that caught my eye was I always follow NYIOP and pretty much everything they do, and I love what you guys do, giving so many opportunities to young singers like myself to just get in front of houses and companies and humans that we may not otherwise, and it's great.
Thank you.
So absolutely, thank you. The reason I love the Anonymous Project is it kind of a good example. I used to work in restaurants for most of my life, and one of the biggest things we learned is the visuality of food and how important that visual aspect is to how we consume, and how it kind of provides comfort from all of our past experiences, all of our biases, whatever good or bad. It allows us to pass a judgment on that plate of food before we consume it, whether we want to or we don't.
Interesting.
So I kind of, because that's my background and that's how I form my opinion there, I kind of think the singing is almost very much a similar way. This Anonymous Project, you know, since we're humans as visual by nature, you know, we kind of put that as our primary focus. So the Anonymous Project allows us, the listener and the singer at times when we listen to ourselves, to focus solely on the music and the opera and, yes, of course, the technique, but just to feel the music, kind of immerse yourself into it. I think back when I was a kid and I'd get like a new, you know, Metallica album or something like that. I'd sit
Me
on
too.
the bed, you know, new to me, obviously, but I'd sit on the bed and I'd just listen and immerse myself in that. And I think that's really what this project allows for.
That's amazing. No, that's very, very interesting. I've never actually thought about that, but you're exactly right. And That's an amazing thing. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. So here's a question. Obviously, this has been one of those years, shall we say, but since you haven't been able to go out on the stage and you haven't been able to go out and travel around and do auditions or do performances, what have you been keeping yourself busy with? Have you picked up a new skill, or what have you been doing this year to kind of better yourself as a person or as an artist, or all of the above?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I made sure I practiced almost every single day, as much as I could.
It's amazing. Good for
It
you.
was tough. It was tough to find the motivation. I'm sure, like we all did. You know, I think we all like our deadlines. We all like a goal, and you know, the goal I set was it's gonna come back. Whenever that is, it's gonna come back. I want to be ready. I'm going to be ready for it, and so I believe I am. On the other side of things, where it's not involved with singing, I'm pretty much a nerd. I like all that stuff, like, you know, comic books, Ninja Turtles, that kind of thing.
Amazing.
And I actually like math things, so I got into Sudoku, of all things.
Oh, amazing.
Kind of strange.
I love it. No, I'm a total geek too.
It's one of my, it kind of gave me a different skill, re-honed some mathematical skills that get kind of lost in the day-to-day. I started making them, and there's a YouTube channel. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but
of course, come on, plug it.
It's called Cracking the Cryptic.
And
there's two guys on there that are world-class solvers and test and like champions at what they do with puzzles. And so I've had, I think, 4 or 5 of my puzzles featured on that channel. And they have like, I think, a third of a million subscribers, like 333,000 subscribers.
Wow.
So it was, not to toot my own horn, but it was pretty rewarding that I got into something and others enjoyed it. So
That's amazing. Congratulations to you. Now, here's the last question. Everybody's getting this last question. Since this has been a year where basically every day we get told what we can't do, we can't get on the stage, we can't, et cetera, et cetera. What can we do? What can you do? What do you suggest? What do you think can be done to still keep people alive artistically during this time?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the arts, it's just getting it out there, however that looks. You know, I know a lot of people turn to the virtual thing, and I think it's actually been, I know it's been a challenge for everybody to learn, but I feel like we all learned that challenge together. There might have been a few here and there who were good at it. Thankfully, yeah, I hope my sound sounds okay. It is, my background is actually in recording, so that's good to know.
Oh, it's good to know. Good to know.
So I would love to be able to help people with that, and you know, offer my advice if they ever had any. But I think, you know, one of the things I love, one of the local companies here that I work with regularly in Charlotte is Opera Carolina, and they did a fantastic job of featuring local artists that either have lived in Charlotte at one time or currently do, and just either going to, we have these things called pop-up concerts that are in people's driveways. So they spread out on their lawns and, you know, socially distanced, masked, and then we're in their driveway, plenty far back away from everything, and it's just been a delight to be able to bring people live music in an outdoor space.
No, that's wonderful, because there's an idea. That's a very solid, good idea. So fantastic. So listen, Jonathan, this was really a pleasure. I'm so happy this worked out well. You sound great. Hopefully we'll get this ball rolling again soon, and then we'll be seeing you back on stage. Okay?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate everything y'all do, as I'm down Charlotte.
No, I'm from Texas, so I'm a y'all. I'm a y'all one. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again somewhere soon. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Sure. Take care. Bye-bye. And we're back. I hope y'all enjoyed that, since I am a y'aller. Next, we are going to have soprano 6001, formerly known as the artist formerly known as 6001, who is going to sing Tatiana's Letter Scene from Eugene Onegin. So I'm going to let her in, and we're going to enjoy that, and then we'll have a chat afterwards. So I hope you guys enjoy this. She's connecting to the audio. There we go. And you guys can begin whenever you want, okay?
Ti
Beautiful job. Brava. Brava. So please come introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, please. Here we go.
I'm Catherine White. I am a New York resident and I'm Canadian born and I'm a soprano.
The Canadians are holding forth today. You're number
Hooray.
3. Go Canucks. Wow, and so you're in New York now.
Yes.
And you've been in New York throughout the whole of the everything?
The whole of the everything. It was crazy, but we have done really well through it, which is great, which is exciting.
Which is wonderful. Now, because honestly, and we spoke this week, and because I know you are a fully professional working singer. And yes. Did you lose a lot of work when everything kind of went dark?
Yes, a lot. Yeah.
Well, so why did you take part in this anonymous competition? You're fully professional. I want to know.
Yeah, when I got the email, I thought this is fascinating to see. This doesn't happen in opera. We're always faced with outfits and everything. And so I thought it was a great social experiment. And I thought, I wonder what will happen. That was my biggest reason. And I felt like during the pandemic, I had a lot of time to work slowly and carefully and thoughtfully on my singing. And so I thought, hey, why not put some stuff out there and see what happens? So,
well, wonderful. I'm very happy you did take part. I've always been a fan of the times that I've heard you. Now, here's the one thing I want to say. So when we talk about what people have been doing during the shutdown, I have one word that you said to me when we spoke. Sourdough.
Sourdough bread, yes.
Tell me about sourdough and your relationship with sourdough.
Yes, it is a real relationship. I was gifted a starter from a neighbor. And so I thought now is the time to figure out how to make this work because it's not that easy. And but now it's like a whole thing. It works all the time. In fact, I am giving the lovely music minister who let me use the space today some bread tomorrow. So I started it before I left the house. So
wonderful.
It is a 2-day process. You assemble and you let it rise. The first day you put it in the fridge overnight. I do, not everyone does. Mm-hmm. And take it out in the morning, let it rise for a few more hours, and you cook it. So. And
it's worth every minute.
Oh my goodness, it so is. And also, when you're in quarantine and you have no like benchmarks of success, having like every few days a benchmark of like the bread worked feels really great.
No, I've never thought about that. No, that's brilliant. I would love to measure my life in success is eating. Yeah. I think I'm winning so far. I mean, as far as, on a whole, I'm balancing out on the winning side of eating.
Yes, fantastic.
So fabulous. Well, Catherine, listen, this was really, truly a joy to hear you. Wonderful, wonderful. The way you're staying in shape, and I can't wait to hear you back on a stage again.
Thank
so
you
really
much, David. Thank you for the experience.
Thanks a whole lot and take care. Have a wonderful day. Cheers. Bye-bye. Now we have 2 singers left, one of which the second to last singer is going to come to you via a video, again mainly because as he will tell you afterwards, it was a time zone issue, and you'll figure that out by the end of things. So our next singer will be singing Robert's aria from Iolanta by Tchaikovsky. So we're having double Tchaikovsky here, which I think is never a bad thing. Honestly, I think there's never a limit to the Tchaikovsky. So here we have baritone coming in with Robert's aria from Iolanta. Enjoy.
Кто может сравниться с Матильдой моей, сверкающей искрами черных очей, как на небе звезд и осенних ночей? Все страстною в ней дивно полно, в ней все опьяняет, в ней все опьяняет. Как молния ранить, и пламя любви зардеет в крови. Она насмеется, и песней зальется свята, идем tu говорят, и то отсветят. О страсти кипучей, бурной чгочей, глаза говорят и к блаженству манят. К блаженству лобзани, безумных желаний, к подадиям нежным руки белоснежной, к забверью горя и к счастью без мер, без конца и границ. Кто может сравниться с матерей моей, сверкающей искрами черных очей, как на небе звезд ясенних ночей? Все страстное невинно полно, в ней все опьяняет, в ней все опьяняет. Идет, как вино, идет, как вино.
Bravo, bravo. So come on over. Wonderful job. So,
Hi.
Finally, tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Hi, my name is Takaoki Onishi. I'm a baritone from Japan. I'm just singing from Japan, and I studied at Juilliard School and went to Orion Opera Center at Chicago Lyric Opera, and now I'm doing freelancing.
That's wonderful. So you're back in Japan. So when did you decide to go back to Japan? Were you in Japan when everything shut down or no?
When everything was started, I was in Philadelphia. I was gonna do the show of Madame Butterfly, and obviously it was April and May, so it was canceled. And then I was stuck a little bit around there, and then I went to Europe, and then I went back to Japan.
And how has it been being home during the shutdown, during the past year anyway?
Yeah, well, so in Japan, we gradually started doing performances again. And one of the very fortunate thing was there were a lot of cancellations of international singers who couldn't fly to Japan. So I was doing a lot of replacements of those wonderful singers. So I got to do Handel's Rinaldo with the Bach Collegium Japan, and also I got to do the just like last week I got to do the Der Herr Rufer in Lohengrin.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's amazing.
And
so repertoire you didn't usually do,
No, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. So during this time home, is there any new skill or anything that you've learned that you never had time to do, or things that you've done that you didn't have time to focus on during the time before?
Yeah, well, it may be a little boring because it's still like it's very music related. Like, I didn't get a new like cooking skill or anything. But with my voice teacher, we really got a time to focus on my voice technique, because when we are performing in the operas or concert halls, we really didn't like we have to constantly learn the new pieces or roles. So I really didn't have a time to really focus on my vocal technique, and so my voice teacher and I sit with the Zoom and Skype, and we really did a really good voice lessons. So
Oh, that's
something.
wonderful.
And I hope it shows in this, in this audition.
Yeah, obviously it showed, since that's all we heard, and you're here now. But how was it to you working via Skype from so far away? Was it much closer the world seemed, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful way to like. I teach sometimes too, and like, and I also get the voice lesson with some my teachers too, and it worked really well actually.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a wonderful tool. Of course, like ideally, it's the person like with the face to face is better, of course. But
yeah, but
yeah. But it's a great option, and usually because we always travel so much, and we didn't really get the time to meet in person. And this is a great way to keep up with your voice teachers and coaches, I think. So,
oh, this is amazing. This is
that's
amazing.
another new finding.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, one last question is, with so many things that you cannot do because you can't travel, you can't go on stages, blah, 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 blah. What is something that you can do, that you found that you actually can do during this period for people that feel like they're stuck? What can they do?
Wow, that's actually a very interesting question. Well, I think, again, it's reconnecting with your friends and like old buddies. I guess I do remember the very beginning of the pandemic in like April or May. I tried to like call my friends who were in the same programs in Chicago or same school at Juilliard. And you know, you usually like when we are so busy, like you don't have really time to connect with your friend or even family for that matter. And I think when we were in a little quiet time during the pandemic, I had a lot of good amount of reconnection going on. So that really helped me motivated and keep sane.
Well, that sounds wonderful. So you can, one of the things you can do is actually reconnect with friends and make human connections, even if it's over Zoom or Skype or telephone. So that's a good thing.
I think
that's
so. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, listen, Taka, thank you so much. It was great to hear you again, and have fun there. And I can't wait until you're back closer and we see you again in person.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. And we're back for our final singer. And of course, how else can you end a concert during a year like this, other than with the end of the immolation scene, the end of Götterdämmerung, when Valhalla comes down. The best thing about Valhalla coming down is, we can always build it up again. So our final singer, who was known as Miss 9112, is going to sing Fliegt heim, ihr Raben from Götterdämmerung by Wagner. So here she comes. You guys can begin anytime. We don't have camera from you, so that you know.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow, that's the way you end. So tell us your name. Tell us a bit about yourself.
So my name is Catherine Woodward. I'm a British soprano living in Berlin. Well, as of last summer, moved during a pandemic. Always good fun.
Smart timing.
Yeah.
Great.
What else to say, really? I have a lovely pandemic job in a whiskey shop.
No, we were going to get to that. Yeah, absolutely. So, but first, tell me, why did you take part in the anonymous audition?
Well, during the course of this it's been going on longer than a year and a half, but I've been slowly exploring this dramatic repertoire. And it's a very hard thing to just come in cold and say, actually, this is what I want to sing. And this is why I didn't make sense when I was younger. And suddenly I have this magic opportunity where it's just my voice. And so people can decide whether I can sing this repertoire or not.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they agree with me.
We'll just block all the comments that say no.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, too much for Bronto. I know how YouTube works.
Exactly. Fantastic. So now to the important things. So you have the very best pandemic job. You do what again?
I sell single malt whiskies in a shop that opened during the pandemic in Berlin. In Prenzlauer Berg. If anybody wants to come, it's called Simply Great Whiskey. It's a lovely, lovely shop.
Because what does the world need in pandemic? Booze, more booze. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Wow, but so other than moving to, I was gonna say, what are the things that you can do during this period where you can't? But I have to say that you've now said that all the people say you can't do this, and you can because you've moved from one country to another, and you can because you've started a job in something completely non-operatic that's also supporting your operatic thing, and you're emerging in dramatic repertoire. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I do feel bad for my new neighbors because I've learned some Electra and quite a lot of Brunhilde. So
well, just they should be lucky that they don't have to pay tickets. So, listen, Catherine, this was really, truly a joy. It was wonderful to hear you. It was wonderful to hear you. You sang the Electra in the Zoom round, and now we hear the Brunhilde here. You sang Brunhilde Siegfried and the Electra in the Zoom round, and now the last Brunhilde. And really, this is really a pleasure. I hope that this is an announcement to people that you can absolutely do this. Okay?
Thank you so much, David.
So
thank you
fantastic.
to sing.
This is my joy. This is my pleasure, and I'm so happy that this worked out the way it did. Okay.
Thanks.
So see you soon. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye. Alas, and friends, we have now come to the end of the concert. I hope that it was magical. I think it was magical for many people. I want to say some thank yous. Of course, I want to say thank you to the panel that listened to all of the singers, that took the time to listen and care and actually try to get within the heart of the voices that they were hearing. And I think that you see that all of the people along the way were very, very good, very intense. It was an interesting group of people that had something to say, everyone. But in addition to that, I want to say thank you to every one of the singers that took part in the process from the beginning through all of it until the end, because actually everyone was heard and everyone had something to say, even if it was an a cappella version of just showing your soul, that was also heard, even though maybe sometimes you feel like, oh, they didn't like me because I didn't get to this round or that round, they didn't give me the trophy, but you were heard. And people felt that. So from us, at NYIOP, what we try to do is we try to create new opportunities and interesting things and essential opportunities for artists to be heard, to sing, because there's a reason why every single artist out there sings, and they need to sing. And we in the world need to hear that singing. So for all of the artists that are watching or that are silent off of the stage out there, please understand it will come back. Your time will come, and we're going to need you even more than we needed before, because that's when we're going to reemerge. We need the artists and the theaters to come out like a phoenix and bring us back to the passions that they show us, because you show us the best that we can be in the way that you sing. So we've also learned from the questioning here that there are a lot of things that you can do, even if you feel like everybody's saying you can't, or you're waiting for the next decree to tell you how long it's going to be, or you get a call that a contract is canceled, that you'd been hoping that maybe that one would last. But there's a lot of things you can do. Even just tonight, you can work on your health, work on your inner peace. You can learn to cook. You can learn to bake things. You can exercise old skills like building Sudokus. You can start a concert series, or you can sing in a driveway with some people in the yard listening to you. So don't give up on the art. Don't give up on our opera. It's too essential and it's too wonderful. And it is about voices moving people. That is what it's about. And then when we get to see you and put it all together, that's the magic of opera. You know it, we know it, everybody knows it. So look, this is NYIOP and David Blackburn signing off. If you look in the descriptions, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you thought of the concert and of the artists. You can go to our website, which is also in the description if you want to see about upcoming projects. We've got live stream auditions for real professional casting directors and producers that are coming up on site in person in Berlin, in New York, in another city in America, in Vienna, in Berlin, Berlin I already said, London. And we have online auditions. So we're trying to help artists be seen, to be heard. That's what matters. That's essential. That's the human contact that we need and that we're going to have on the way out of here. So thank you all for taking part in this, what wound up being a long concert. Thank you all. And keep singing and keep loving opera. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I can't wait to see you all in real life once we're finally done with all of this. Signing off from NYIOP. Thank you. Bye.